Google had their game developers conference. How did it go? What information was dropped? Well, we're going to give you all the tasty tidbits right now. Let's get into it.
Stay sick cause I follow my gut. They say I was pushing my luck. I'ma push me a matte all black truck. Oh, I'm not sorry.
What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy MM2K back again with another video. Do me a huge favor before we get into this one. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, rock those bells for notifications, please, so you know when your boy's dropping these doses. I appreciate all of y'all, straight up, because y'all know the deal, y'all know the reason, y'all know the slogan. I am not too proud to ask. Let's get into this episode of the Stadia Dosage, baby. All right, so y'all heard it in the bumper. Game Developer Conference, or they call it the Google's Game Developer Summit this time around, because actually GDC got, pushed back, got canceled and all other stuff, and that's okay, because Google still remotely had some stacks and some other things that gave us a lot of news. And I want to say big ups to Brian for co-hosting with me this keynote address, and you're seeing snippets of it right now on the screen. Big ups to him. He made it very insightful. He helped make it very entertaining, and I want to thank Duncan from Stadia Source for jumping on, along with Chase of Stadia Talk for helping parse a lot of this stuff as well. And what you're going to want to do is check that video after this one to get full details. And then there's a link to Brian's channel, because after I covered the keynote, we moved it over to Brian's channel so he can go over the different stacks, and he did so with Eddie, and I popped in and out, and so did Chase. So it was very entertaining, a lot of news to parse. So let's go over what I feel were the big whoop-to-dos and all this information. First and foremost, I want to say this. This definitely was not to be like an E3 treasure trove of gaming news for the average gamer. This was definitely an olive branch to developers. However, some news was made that was prevalent to us gamers. All right, so first and foremost, I can't say this. I probably should save the best for last and save this towards the end, but I'm going to say this right now to get this out of the way. And I'm glad that we had Chase there, because I was trying to switch the levers and gears behind the scene, and I actually missed this. But when John Justice came out there to give the keynote, one of the first things he said is that he's working with partners and everybody for years to come. And he said that not once, but twice. He said it multiple times. And he wanted to put a stake through the heart of the BS that Google is only in this for a few couple of months. So for everybody that, and even some of my favorite podcasters have been saying this, and it hurts me because they really don't have their ears to the ground, and they're not using a lot of common sense here. But a lot of my favorite podcasters said, "Oh, I'm surprised if this thing makes it to the end of the year." And I think, in a lot of ways, even though this was a communication to developers, this was a shot in the bow to a lot of those naysayers, you know what I mean? So you definitely want to check out this presentation in totality in the different stacks, and you'll get that same feel. But I thought it was very prevalent and very important that John Justice of Google Stadia came out there and said that we will be here for years to come. Definitely. And you can tell by all the moves that they're making, the new studio, the Shannon Studstill acquisition, and some of the things that we're going to talk about here that shows why that's the case. Another thing, they talked about crowd play, and that's where the actual content watchers can interact with the content creators while they're playing the games. That is confirmed this year. That is happening this year. It has been confirmed. I know they've talked about it before, but just to let people know that it's still on track, that's still coming this year. Some big news in relation to gamers: Splash Damage. They've made some pretty big games like Brink, and they've worked on, I think, a Batman game, and now more recently they're working on the Gears Tactic game. They are working and developing a Stadia exclusive title. All right, so Splash Damage is making a Stadia exclusive title. So that made some news and stuff. So definitely keep your eye out on that. Now, again, one of the shot in the bows for me, which I thought just gave me a couple of chuckles, was we had that Business Insider article that we ripped to shreds because it was a big farce. And the Business Insider article said that, Stadia is not supporting the indie developers and all this other stuff. Well, Stadia said, you know what, hold my beer. What they've done is they introduced something called the Stadia Makers Program. And in the Stadia Makers Program, what they're going to do is that they're going to allow they're going to pilot it with a few developers at first, indie developers, but they're going to allow developers to self-publish on Stadia. So think, I get renditions of the Xbox, the idea of Xbox type of thing, you know what I'm saying? But that's a big move for them, because if you really want to be part of this platform, it's about the games, you know what I'm saying? Not just, we want Google to give us a big duffel bag of money. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go and you're going to become part of this program once it goes full-fledged. But right now, they want to work with experienced indie devs to pilot this program. So I think that was big news. All right. Another big thing that they talked about, and again, kudos to Chase for lending his expertise and explaining all this to your boy. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not the expert in the Bibble Watts and the gigahertz and the technical babblewits and all that stuff, right? But they talked a lot about infrastructure, right? And so in the previous section of this keynote, they focus a lot on cloud gaming, not so much on Stadia, but cloud gaming. And what they've noted that they got a lot of cloud infrastructure areas that they're making some new deployments in Warsaw, Jakarta, and Las Vegas. So they're extending their reach, all right? So they're going to have more data centers, all right? And they also named this, I forgot the name of it. It was like some big cloud integration thing where they're basically going to take, and I ripped these words from Chase, so bear with me because he has a better understanding of this, and I'm just basically stealing from him. But Chase from Stadia Talk had mentioned it like this, or broke it down like this. He said they're going to be large computing centers that tap into multiple servers, right? And he believes that this is going to relate to Stadia because along with those new data centers and along with this new cloud integration that's going to like take multiple servers and bring it into one instance or one location, that this is going to help create the 24/7 scalable world that you heard Jade Raymond and other people at Google talked about. All right. And think of Ready Player One, they say, right? When you think of this world, it's a 24/7 world where it's not broken up into different, regions. It's all one instance with thousands of players simultaneously in that one instance. They've been talking a lot about this, and that the culmination of the extra data centers, this new cloud instance that's going to go into beta, and the fact that they want to do this all works together to make that happen. So that's a big deal because that's something that we've never seen in gaming before. All right, again, with cloud gaming, you're going to see implementation that cannot be done on dedicated devices alone. All right, so very interesting stuff. But last but not least, I think the most interesting thing to me, which was one of the shortest, but it was one of the most compact things that was mentioned during these whole set of presentations, is Destiny 2. Now, I know I've said in the past that Destiny 2 is an acquired taste for many. I was originally a big Destiny 1 fan, and going into Destiny 2, I wasn't the biggest fan, but it was a great get nonetheless for Google Stadia, and for them to have it as part of the pro experience for so long, you know what I'm saying? And just part of the foundation for if you were a founder or if you had the Premier Pack. Now that people have let their Premiers lapse and Destiny is just a free-to-play behind the pro subscription, you know what I'm saying? It was still amazing that long that we've had, I guess you could say, free access to it. But that all wasn't something planned, right? That wasn't something planned for a very long time. Here's what happened. The people at Bungie didn't want to get on board with Stadia until the GDC of 2019. So it was ported over in 3 months, I think it was 3 to 6 months, they ported Destiny over, had to put it on Vulkan and get it working to the state that it was at launch. And then we're able to make upgrades from that. So a lot of people that were saying, oh, Destiny's only 1080p and all this other stuff, they were able to have such a quick turnaround on this thing. So I thought that was totally amazing. All right. And that just shows you the power of the cloud. So definitely check this all out, because there's a lot of interesting stuff that you guys can learn from all this, that just even on the development level on how big this thing is. And that's it from your boy MM2K. Let me know what you think about what I had to say in the comment section below, because like I always say, who cares what I think? But if you did like what I had to say, check out the links below to follow me. Those links will lead you to the Broadband Bullies, PNTS Network, Hard Knock Digital Culture, and yes, here to Stadia Dosage. And with that said, you all have a wonderful gaming day. Peace.